I'm gonna show you how to turn a super warped 2x4 into $400. Let's get into it. Today, we're gonna be making cable holders. They're easy, quick to make, and have great profit margin. Now I'm gonna show you how to build it, but make sure that you stay to the end of the video because I'm gonna be going over all the pricing on these and how you actually get $400 from just one 2x4 with just this project. So we're gonna start with 2 feet, and the first thing we're gonna do is take this over to the table saw. So the first thing we're gonna do at the table saw is we're just gonna rip this whole thing in half, about 1.75 inches. Doesn't need to be perfectly 1.75, but around there is what you're gonna wanna do. So just gonna go ahead and cut that. Next thing you're gonna do is take the thickness down to 1.25 inches. So set our table saw to 1.25, and we're gonna be cutting off this rounded edge here, so flat edge against the rib fence, and do that for both of them. So now what we're gonna do is take your two pieces, make a mark 5/8 inches here and here, and with your other piece, you're gonna wanna line those up. I'm gonna show you here with these squiggles. This is what we're gonna take off from here. Now on the other side, we're gonna flip it up, and we're gonna do that again, 5/8 inches. But this time, we're gonna come from this side in. This time we came from here. So we're gonna be cutting off here, and then a little chunk here. So again, 5/8 inches, 5/8 inches. Make the mark there, and then again, meet those with your straight edge, and make your line. And then this is the piece you're gonna cut off. So this little piece here, those lines, that's what we're gonna cut off. So you don't really need to do those lines like I did, but I just wanted to show you. So if you don't wanna do the lines, just go ahead and set your table saw fence to 5/8 inches away from the blade. And then you're gonna want the blade to also be 5/8 inches high. And if you notice, this wood that we're using is, it's pretty warped, but that's okay for this project. It's gonna be pretty small, so it doesn't need to be perfectly straight. All right, so it's 5/8 inches high, 5/8 inches away, and now we're gonna go ahead and on that line that you just made, rip there, flip it, and rip this other one. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll come back to you, explain a little bit more. So we've got our cut there on that line. Now we're gonna cut here on this line. So just flip it up and do that again. And that's gonna cut out that piece right there. So here's what we've got. Basically just a little L shape. Go ahead and do that with your second piece as well. And the excess of these cuts, you're gonna wanna save for later. Now we're gonna go ahead and cut these at 6 inches. So we'll have 4 of them from each piece. And that's our project. Go ahead, cut 4 of them off, and then yeah, come back and we'll keep going. You could do this on your miter saw, but I think we're gonna go table saw only video. So we're just gonna go ahead with the miter fence and rip these down 6 inches each. So we've got 8 of them cut. Now if you're using a full 2x4, you will get 32 of them, but we're gonna give these away as Christmas presents as well as list them on Facebook Marketplace and see if they sell, and obviously, if they do, we can make more of them. So now you're gonna make 4 marks at 1 3/16 inches away from each other. So 1 3/16, 1 3/16, 1 3/16, 1 3/16. So you'll have 4 markings that are perfectly spaced out. Now we're gonna take this over to the table saw again, and we're gonna get those cut out. So now, why we've been saving these cutouts, I'll tell you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put our cutout, because our cutout is perfectly the same width as this, we're gonna put our cutout right here, and when we make these markings, we're gonna put it up against there, so this is not falling like this. It'll be leaning on this, so that won't fall over. So these markings that we've made here, these are going to be where we make our slits. Now, 1 pass through the table saw is not big enough for your cord, so we need 2 passes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut on the left side of this line, lining this blade up to the left side, and then we're gonna cut to the right side. That way, these all stay in the same position, and the cord goes right through the middle of where that marking is. So it's a little bit tricky to do this, but if you're gonna batch these out, I highly suggest getting some type of stop block for each cut, putting your stop block here, lining it up to there, making the cut on all of them, and then moving the stop block every time. So I'm gonna do it with the stop block just to show you what that would look like. Almost ready to cut. The last thing you need to do is make sure your blade is 5/8 inches above the miter sled. A great way to do that is to just put your piece over it like this, and then just raise the fence up until it hits it. So we go all the way through this chunk right here. I'm not gonna show you me doing all 8, but I am gonna show you the stop block. So let's get a stop block lined up. So first thing we're gonna do is line this up to the blade, like I said, once on the right side, once on the left side, and then once you've got that, put your stop block there and clamp your stop block down. There we go. Now we've got that, and we can do this for every single cut. So now we're gonna take our scrap piece, put it back here, line it up to the stop block, put this one over, and again on that line. These lines are gonna be face down on the miter sled and over this piece right there, and we're gonna make our cut. Let's do it. So you've cut on that line there, you can see there's a little bit left. That was to the right side. Now we're gonna move our stop block over to the left side. So just go ahead and line that piece up so the blade touches that opening there that you just cut. Put the stop block, clamp it down, and go for it. And there you have it. You've got your gap right there. So that's all you're gonna do on the rest of these little marks. So let's go ahead and do that. You're starting to get it. It's repetitive, but it's how it works, the easiest way to batch out these projects. All right, so we've got them all cut out, and we sanded them. You see here, we've got 2 smaller ones here. Just figured, maybe switched up a little bit. It was getting a little tedious, so we only did 3 slits on these ones. Maybe if you have some bigger cords or you just don't have as many cords. But we went ahead and sanded them. As you can see, there's a little bit of a round on both of these sides and then right here. So it's looking good. We sanded 120 with the orbital sander. Then we did 320 by hand, up to 320 by hand. Now we're gonna go ahead and give them a nice stain, put them up on Facebook Marketplace, see what we can do. That's nice. All right, we stained this one. It's the same stain as this wall, and I love it. I think this one will be the best seller, so we're just gonna go ahead and do the rest with this because this just looks great. They are all sanded, stained, and they look great. Like I said, we went ahead and the majority of them, we went with this honey walnut because we really like the way it looks and we think it's gonna sell better than the others. So like I said at the beginning, we only used 1/4 of a 2x4 to make 8 of them. If you're using a full 2x4, you're gonna get 32 of them, and we're gonna sell these for $12.50. $15 seems a little bit much, and it's all about that price point that the viewer sees, the customer sees. They don't want to be spending 15 bucks, they don't want to be spending 20 bucks, but a little more than 10 bucks for these is totally fine. If you're not having success selling them for $12.50, bump it down to 10 bucks, see if that helps at all. But you make 32 of these from one 2x4 at $12.50 each, if my math is correct. That is $400. Easy project to make, and I just batched these out. From cutting, building, sanding, staining, all 8 of these took me under an hour to make. So yeah, we're gonna put them up on Facebook Marketplace ourselves. Probably gonna start an Etsy page again soon. We haven't done Etsy in quite a while, but we're gonna put these up, and we'll let you know in our community notes in a few weeks how they sold. So here is the finished product, guys. They're sanded and stained. These are the 3 stains we went with. Obviously, we got a lot more that are this honey walnut, but I'm happy with the way that they came out. So how you adhere these to a desk, a table, a bench, anything like that is you just take some double-sided tape, put 2 pieces on one of the edges, and then just stick it there. We're using this Scott double-sided tape, I believe. It comes off easily if you need to take it off, and if you need to replace it, just put new tape on it. Well, guys, that's going to do it for the video. All 8 cord holders. So stick around to see how they sell, but that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below any other videos you'd like us to make, and I will see you in the next one. Click here to subscribe, and click here to watch my 5 favorite scrapwood projects.